Welcome back to Full Court Faith. We're in our Advent series. Today is the topic of joy. Johnny, introduce our fabulous, amazing, one-of-a-kind guest.
This today is Dane Cookson. I've known Dane for almost a decade and a half. And Dane is a great friend. And there are many things. Dane wears many hats. He wears a fireman's hat. He is our realtor. He's shown us many homes. He's very good at that. He is one of the funniest guys I know. I'm very blessed today. I get to be in between two of the funniest people in the whole world. Dane loves the Lord. He loves studying the Bible. He's got a wonderful wife, also named Catherine. We both have wives named Catherine. They have great 3 kids. They have 2 daughters and a son. Our kids go to the same school, Our Savior's Lutheran. Dane is very passionate about sports. We share a passion for basketball and football. And like you, probably you two and my friend Andy Tinsley, the 3 of you guys can poke the bear better than anybody I know. So that is our introduction to Dane Cookson this morning.
Thank you.
And when Johnny said Dane wears a fireman's hat, that's all he does. He just walks around wearing a fireman's hat.
I got one around here somewhere.
Literally and metaphorically.
Well, I texted Dane last night because in our fantasy football group chat, I was poking a bear, mini bears. I texted him on the side and I said, my former athletes used to call me a Hall of Fame instigator, which I wear proudly.
I have been known to poke the bear, but nothing is in comparison to 100 Prize. You are the king.
I really like to see how far I can get someone to the edge of anger before they realize I'm joking.
And then once they get there, how far after can you keep pushing them?
We had a lot of sibling fights growing up, a lot of arguments, and I would say I learned how to do it because I was not the most physically built guy growing up. I was very skinny, very scrawny, and I had to win my wars with words as opposed to muscles. So I really figured out how to just get you. But now I use that for fun. It's like a superhero. I acquired this ability, and now I use it for good instead of evil. But
a sanctified trash talk.
A sanctified trash talker. Thank you. And we're going to get to that when we get to pick up sports. I've asked everyone a Christmas question. I want to know, Dane and then Johnny, what is your must-have Christmas food menu? What is a requirement you have?
Christmas foods. I would say probably 2 come to mind. One I would say is it's going to sound a little high end, which if most people know me, I'm not real high end, but prime rib. And the reason I say it, so my grandpa, prime rib was not exactly on my family's monthly budget growing up. We did not get a lot of prime rib, but my grandpa would make it every Easter and then some Thanksgiving and Christmas mainly. And so we would get prime rib every Thanksgiving, but a lot of Christmases too. And so we would look forward every year to the prime rib. And then the second would be my mom makes deviled eggs that are to die for. And she makes them, again, kind of like the prime ribs, like multiple holidays. She makes them Christmas, Thanksgiving, anything that we're eating, having a bunch of people over. So I would say those 2 are probably the main foods. And then I am a sweets guy. Anything sweets related, brownies, cookies. Johnny's got me hooked on a iced coffee from Dunkin' Donuts right now. That
Wait,
has done.
Are you putting a bunch of stuff in it, or is it just iced coffee?
Iced coffee?
Yeah.
I don't even remember. It's such a long name.
You don't need to put stuff in it. It already comes with it.
It has so much in it. I had to text Johnny and ask him what it was. I couldn't remember the name. They told me, and they had to. It is long.
It came from my wife, Catherine.
Okay, what is it?
It's called the Signature Iced Caramel Craze Latte.
So anything that's that long of a name is not just coffee. There's several things, but it has done horrible things to my bank account. And so I told Johnny that if my kids wind up not going to college or something like that because I can't afford it, he is partially responsible for it.
Before you go, that's one of those things where I just feel so silly saying, why can't they name them normal? Why can't it just be the 7? when I have to say like four different words and I just feel like I'm doing something wrong, and then it's like a dessert. It's not a coffee, right?
Yeah.
So the rest of your day you're dessertized already.
It is a mouthful. Ice signature caramel craze coffee is like it's a lot. I still when I go through the drive-through, I look up our text thread and I see what it is when I'm pulling up. I do not remember what it's called, but it is fantastic.
So I usually just get a coffee, and Catherine gets that, but I obviously get to drink that too. So if we had to get two of those, our budget would be gone for the whole week.
I'm a black coffee guy. What's your Christmas food?
Ooh, I too have two things. One of them is puppy chow. I don't know, like
Oh,
the Chex Mix with peanut
oh
butter and
yeah.
chocolate and powdered sugar.
Yeah.
Puppy chow, that to me is like a must-have around Christmas time.
Hmm.
Love it. And then also, growing up, my mom, she still does. We call them these Christmas tree rolls. We have them once a year, and she makes these rolls that are like, imagine like a cinnamon roll, but no cinnamon. And instead of like cinnamon flavor, it's like got this orange glaze to it. And she makes them in the shape of a Christmas tree. And that was kind of like our tradition. Like every Christmas day morning, we always wake up to Christmas tree rolls. So whenever our family is in town on Christmas Day, we go to my parents' house and we have Christmas tree rolls.
I
They're
want to go to your
amazing.
house. I want to go to your house.
Those do sound good.
Yeah,
They're really good.
puppy chow is A plus. I was glad you guys went there because I'm not a big like holiday ham person or turkey on Thanksgiving. That's my hot take. I'm good without having turkey. I'm good without having ham. And the funny thing is deviled eggs is a sleeper because
Oh
you
yeah.
never would expect to like want them, but anytime they show up at a party, they're gone. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I eat way too many of them, but I just love them. And my mom she always lets me do like, she's like, "Hey, taste the filling real quick before I start making all these eggs." And so I'll eat like 3 or 4 before the party even starts. It's the best.
So if you're listening, you're wondering, man, that's 7 minutes on Christmas food. What are they going to talk about today? And I texted these guys and I said it's the topic of joy. So all I want to do is just tell fun stories and talk about what we like or gives us joy because we did a two-parter podcast on the concept of joy and theology and all that stuff back in our last series. So if you really want to deep dive biblically, you can go do that. It's there. I thought we would just have fun and experience some joy here. I want to know, Dane, the Christmas season, what gives you like the most joy? What task or what thing that you do with your family would you say fills you up the most?
Yeah, I was gonna say it would have to be just spending time with family, which is kind of the cliche answer, but it really is true. Like the thing that I enjoy the most, I have been, I have an amazing wife and been blessed with 3 amazing kids, and it's like the thing I enjoy doing the most. And I was thinking about it today. I was like, it's funny because I think I still like hanging out with my kids way more than they enjoy hanging out with me, which is kind of depressing, but it is true. And but I any the thing that I enjoy in Christmas is just any of the things Christmassy stuff to do with them. And it doesn't really like I was thinking about a few. It's like we enjoy the Christmas tree, which I would like to get a answer out of you guys on real Christmas tree, fake Christmas tree. Because I was hard team camp of the real Christmas tree, cut it down myself, just hauling it into the house. But now I am full blown the other way. Fake Christmas tree all day long, and I don't have time to hear otherwise. It is fake Christmas tree.
Anything that requires more work is a no thank you on my end. It seems
Yes, we
fun.
see, we see eye to eye on this.
What about you? What are you
We
thinking?
we are economical in this
Yeah.
decision. Believe it or not, I grew
Of
up in
course.
our house.
Yeah, that
Our,
makes a lot of
yeah,
sense.
our house. We grew up with real Christmas tree in John and Gracie Standard, but in John and Catherine Standard, we've had the same Christmas tree since our first year of marriage.
It
So
makes so much
we've
sense,
had
like
the
to do it
same
that way.
tree for 15 years, and
I,
it's losing some of the leaves, so you like get extra garland to make it fuller. We've made this tree last 15 years. Isn't that crazy?
yes. See, and again, I'm late to the party, but when we first tried it out, we were like, well, we'll just try it out next year. Yeah, I think it started because our dog was eating all the pine needles, And we're like, that just can't be good. And so we're like, well, we'll try doing the fake tree, and then the ease of it. And you just pull it back out of the box the next year. You don't have to spend any more money. It was fantastic.
We got ours at a Walmart in Dallas 15 years ago, and it's still in our house today.
Well, if you watch Christmas Vacation, you're out on Christmas trees immediately because it's exaggerated, but that is real. It is getting it down, hauling it home, maintaining it, the needles, all that stuff. I'm out as just a person. Don't want to deal with all the real stuff.
But so I would say like setting up the Christmas tree, setting up lights. The kids love to decorate like in the house. They're all love to put stuff on the walls every season of whatever we're in. I'm a big fan of the Festival of Lights in Peoria. We love going there. And then like movies. Our family loves watching movies, so we like Christmas movies during the Christmas season. The kids each pick one or two.
What's your go-to? What's your go-to?
So I like there's a few, but I really like The Grinch is good. I like Elf. I just blanked on what's the train one? The
Polar Express.
Polar Express. I love the Polar Express. Yeah. I do. I love the Polar Express.
Have you not seen that one either?
I've seen it, and I don't understand how someone likes it.
My kids all dislike it. Nobody likes it, and every time, so we have it in our minivan. You can watch movies. So if we take road trips, if we take a road trip around basically in the winter, I'm like, hey, let's throw a Christmas movie on. And so I always, as soon as I'm like, hey, what movie do you guys want to watch? Like Graham every time in the back goes, not Polar Express, just because he doesn't like it. But I love that movie. But those are probably my go-tos.
Oh man, I like Polar Express. That's a good one.
What about what is your like task or thing that you do that's like, oh, we love this. This is joy.
Oh, well, I know this also is going to sound cliche, but just like the blessings we have in the Lord of like like a lot of it has to do with family. But I take a lot of joy in like laughing with you guys. Like right now, like this is a lot of fun and getting to enjoy life. Think about just joy of the whole basis of joy. We talked about it in our Virtue Victory series of the source of our ultimate joy is in the Lord and who he is and what he's done for us in Christ. And then I think sometimes as Christians, we almost feel like we're not allowed to have fun. Like, oh man, like I'm not supposed to have too much fun. And I think like the Lord wants us to enjoy life, to have joy in him and to enjoy the blessings he's given. So I think things like having conversations like this where we can laugh about certain things, I think we should have joy in that and appreciate ultimately like the source behind it of who gave that to us. So I love spending time with my family, spending time with friends and laughing about things that are silly. And I'm very blessed right now. I get to do that with two of the funniest guys in the world.
Yeah, his answer is a lot better than yours.
Yeah.
Loser. Oh, well, hold on. I'd like to just give my answer now so we can round out the table here. I love Christmas lights and all those things, but I'm finding it harder with my kids as they age and get attitudes. Because last night we were like, hey, let's go to the light show in the Chatham Park, which is a great light show. And Nolan goes, well, what else would we do? We were like, well, we talked about watching The Grinch, so we could do that. He goes, yeah, I'm thinking let's stay home and watch a movie. And how so? We were like, what? Like, you don't, like, and as they get older, like, that stuff is less, and they're not even old. Like, I don't know if you heard it Sunday during church there, the kids were singing, and
I heard Nolan.
Nolan said two things before the song. What did he say before this music started?
It was something like,
what?
Yeah, it was something like, "Are you kidding me?" or something like that.
Yeah, and then after, the kids are kind of standing and they're walking down, and loud enough for the whole sanctuary to hear, he goes, "Awkward."
Awkward.
I was like, all right, that's my kid.
He is your son.
Well, Catherine texted Natalie and she said, was that your son? And my response was, who else would it be? Of course.
So
Yeah.
I was watching the live stream replay yesterday to watch this, and I said the same thing. I go, "That's Hunter's son right there."
Yep.
Yeah, well, that is, I think, close to last year's Christmas program. Graham taking his shepherd staff and turning it into a shotgun, just
Yes.
holding it, just
I
pointing
forgot
it at
about that.
people.
And then Johnny's dad always he always remembers and points out the one of the it was years ago, probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But Graham was John brought all the kids up on stage for the Christmas program. He's like talking to them. I think it was the Christmas program, but he was asking them like, what is their favorite things to do during the Christmas season? And it's like, so when you,
I remember
and
this.
so he asked Graham, and he goes, "What?" He's like, "What's one of your favorite things to do during Christmas?" And he like thinks about it and goes, "Fish." Which, in our lifetime, Graham has fished one time, and it was during the summer at a pond, and he didn't catch anything, nor did he want to fish anymore.
That is hysterical because especially we're not even like in a region where fishing is like in the winter. In Wisconsin, they ice fish, and that's a big
Yeah.
thing. We're not even like there's not even that excuse.
He doesn't fish, and he doesn't enjoy fishing, so I don't know where it came from. But yeah, fishing is one of our family pastimes in the Christmas season.
One of the reasons we wanted to have you on was because throughout our series, we gave updates on our Blue Eagles soccer team. And
Go
that
Eagles.
became Go Eagles. That became a very popular talking point among people. They just wanted to ask us about the soccer team, which was hilarious. Out of all the work we put into our podcast, it was the 1 minute discussions. And there's a few stories we want some clarity on. So you were the head coach of the Blue Eagles. I was your fearless assistant. And we had this dynamic duoship going on as a coaching staff. But I was gone the last game, and there was a story of my son that got to me, which I thought was hilarious, but I want to hear it from you. Griffin's roller coaster of
Yeah.
the last game.
There's gonna be some parts. It's been a couple months, so it's gonna be some parts I probably don't even remember, but there are some that I vividly still remember about it. So for those that don't know Griffin, your son is extremely competitive, and
Surprise.
also
No.
yeah, also he's very passionate about sports in general, but he loves playing. He's one of the few that on the team would make it enjoyable to like be coaching, because he's the only, including my son, was the only one that wanted to be at practices at all. So winning meant a lot to Griffin, and so we didn't win hardly at all. I think maybe we had 8 games in the season. In the first 5, we lost by an average of like 15 goals. Getting just crushed. And you can see it, like it wears on the kids. Like nobody enjoys going out there just getting slaughtered. And so they're losing and losing. So we had won a couple games, but it was the last game of the year. And it's a competitive game. You can tell the two teams are pretty equal. And I think at the time it was like 2-2, maybe 1-1. It was early.
Did he say something to you before the game?
And so, well, that's why maybe it was before. I think it was like right at the beginning of the game. It could have been before the game.
Okay.
But he came up to me, and I'm standing on, because I know I was on the sideline of the kids were out there, but maybe they were warming up. And maybe you're right. But I was on the sideline where I stand for coaching. And he jogs over to me and he like steps and he looks at me and he's like, "So I'm pretty confident you're not going to want to probably take me out of the game today, right?" And I was like, and I got stupid, and I looked at him and was like, "Oh, like you're just want to play the whole game, you think?" He's like, "Well, yeah, I mean, if we're going to win, I think you probably aren't going to want to take me out." And I was like, "Well, you're not wrong. So we'll see." Usually the other part to that is like the kids, again, they ask to come out. Griffin is the only one on the whole team that doesn't want to come out of the game. And so I was like, "Oh yeah, that's probably okay. We'll just leave him in there." So we're actually winning. It's a good game, but we end up taking a good lead at the very end. There's probably 2 minutes left of the game. And now the kids are seeing some of the other kids who don't usually score. They're starting to score. So we're getting probably 3 or 4 different kids on the team are scoring goals. Well, now everybody wants to get back in the game because they want to score a goal. Nobody's scored hardly any goals all year. And so we're winning a decent amount, and there's 2 minutes left. Griffin hasn't come out of the game, at least not by me. He sat himself for about 30 seconds because he had an own goal, which was as devastating of a thing that could happen to Griffin as possible. But he pulled himself out of the game, I think, to punish himself for about 30 seconds. But other than that, he had not come out of the game at all for rest. So I call him over. There's 2 minutes left, and couple of the kids were asking, "Hey, can I go in and play?" And I was like, "Yeah, why don't you go get Griffin and go get a couple of the other boys that were helping us win quite a bit." And Griffin wasn't coming. Once the kids came in, they like called Griffin over, and he wasn't coming. So I yelled for him, I'm like, "Griffin!" I was like, "Hey," I was like, "come get a drink." And he looks at me, he's like, "I'm not tired." And then just kind of turns around, looks away the other way. And I was like, so I call him again. I bring him over, and I can tell he's visibly upset with me. So he comes, he's like, "What?" He's like, "Why are you pulling me out? I'm not tired." And I was like, everybody else needs a chance to play too, not just you. He's like, but we need a win. I was like, "Griffin, we're up 4 with like a minute left. I think we're good."
Well, that made me cackle. You called me, Johnny told me when I came back, and I was like, that is him. There's the highs and there's the lows. I think your favorite part from the season of him is his fake injury.
Oh, so there was a time in the game where Griffin just clobbered this kid. Like he just trucked him. And this kid went flying. And then the kid's like reaching for his ankle, like he slide tackle, whatever. And then Griffin realizes as the kid's going down, like I'm going to get in trouble. So then Griffin fakes an injury himself and reaches for his own ankle. And you can see him like kind of reaching his ankle, looking over at the other kid, because he realized, if I'm hurt too, it's not as bad that I hurt this kid. Right. So then Griffin like limps off the field, and then you can see he's on the sideline. He's like, "Okay, I'm good."
His brain was registering pretty quickly the consequences of taking a kid out, so you could see it as it was happening. Which this will make you guys laugh. We play football in the backyard regularly, even in the snow or in the living room even. This will not shock you, but he's really been working on his touchdown celebrations and his first down celebrations. And if he scores, he has to like do a whole 30-second like NFL setup and he practices in the living room. He'll be like, "Dad, this is what I'm thinking for my next celebration." And I'm like, "Dude, you're gonna be a headache for somebody."
The fact that he does a touchdown celebration that's funny enough. The fact that he does a first down celebration is next level.
If he sees it on the TV, he's going to do it. So there's a lot of gritty components to his celebrations. But enough about him. There's one more story that people want to know about. It was your interpretation on the injury. And I use it
with Henry.
And I use it with quotes because I felt like there was a full injury.
So here, and I know that I've known actually that you have felt this way. Here's what I'm going to just throw this out there for the fans listening. He ended up going to the doctor. Yeah.
What? Oh,
yeah.
No.
Yes. So I ran into him picking up my kids at the school, and his mom was picking him up. And I look over, and he's walking. He is limping to his car.
Hunter Price. Oh no.
And so just a little update on that. So he was walking out from the school to their car, and I see he's kind of limping. And I kind of get a little concerned. I'm like, "Man, is that still?" So I kind of walk over. I was like, "Hey," I was like, "You still limping, Henry?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "It's not getting any better." And he's like, "I was trying to play on it today, and I heard it a little worse, I think, too." He's like, "But my mom's going to take me to the doctor. We're going to get some x-rays." And I was just like,
well, let me guess though. Was anything broken?
I think he was fine. Honestly, I don't know. But I think it was a negative on the X-rays. But I'll have to ask, and maybe I'll follow up and let you know.
Maybe he was really. I love Henry. If you're listening, Henry, we love you. Maybe he was really selling it though to like, "Man, I came out at the end of a game. I've got to really make it seem like I was hurt."
There is a possibility that was it, but a very, very little possibility. This was like 7 days after the season ended. But so to the story, I'll try to make this quick. But again, you got to put your mind in fairness to Hunter. We have not won a game yet. We're 0-5, and it is just brutal losses. We're losing by 10, 15, 20, and we're getting crushed. Kids aren't wanting even to play anymore. They're just getting beat. We are winning a game, and it's close. It's like 2-1. I believe that's the score at the time of the injury. And so it's 2-1, and Henry comes over. Henry is one of our two best players and scored the most goals.
He was our best offensive player.
Yeah, he definitely scored the most goals.
Yeah,
and so he had scored, I think, both goals of that game. But so we're up 2-1, and he comes like jogging over, but he clearly is limping. And I was like, what's wrong? He's like, I hurt my ankle, coach. He's like, I can't stand on it. It hurts real bad. I got to come out. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, here, why don't you come out? Now, a lot of times we've had probably 6 injuries throughout the year where people literally told me they couldn't play because they were injured, where they then later told me they just didn't want to go in. So I had some skepticism on the injury, and I told him, I said, hey, why don't you just get a drink, kind of rest for a minute, and then we'll stand you up, see how you feel on it. He's like, okay. And I turn around, and again, it's pretty late in the game. There's only a handful of minutes left, and we're winning by 1. And I turn around because we got a throw in, and I'm trying to call to one of the kids to throw the ball in. And as I'm doing that, out of my peripheral, I see Henry is walking into the game, not running, walking into the game with a pretty severe limp. And I look over, and he's like just kind of limping into the game.
He was limping harder than he needed to be fair.
I said, Henry, what are you doing, bud? And he goes, going in the game. And I said, I thought you were, are you hurting? Or can you even run? He's like, no. I said, well, you don't have to go in. He's like, Coach Hunter said I had to go back in the game. And I turn around, I look at Hunter, and he's like, kind of looking at me side. I'm like, man, don't you want to win? Like, don't you want to win? And I look at Henry, and he's like, I can try if you need me to. And I was like, well, if you can't run, bud, here, come back out, sit down, and let's take a minute and rest. And then Hunter walks over to me. He's like, I mean, I only told him to just stand in front of the goal and guard it.
If he would have said, I can try if you need me to me, I'd have been like, all right, go do it, buddy.
There was definitely, we were the old good cop, bad cop, and it worked. We went. Now, sure, it took us a little bit to find our groove, as those that followed our season would know. But we had news outlets reaching out to us, trying to figure out what Hunter and I did to really steer the ship in the right direction. I mean, people didn't even think it was possible to go 0-5 and then have the turnaround we had. Was just, a lot of it was schemes that Hunter and I drew up during the week. But yeah, we just had the kids run good plays.
We actually had to tell a couple local media to not come.
It was getting packed.
It was
the parking lot. There wasn't a lot of parking there at the water.
There was not much parking actually, and we thought it'd be a distraction. We're on a 2-game heater. We thought for the third game we better not do big heads, so we had the media stand probably on the other side of the field and had them watch. We gave them a few quotes about our thunder and lightning dynamic.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot to learn from it. Johnny, any comments?
Who's thunder and who's lightning? I'm curious.
That's a good question. I'm louder, so I'll probably
yeah. Whichever one is softer is me. Whichever one is more ferocious is Hunter.
But I thought we finished the season well, and it's a story that will live on forever. And I do know they did like an excerpt of the Blue Eagles in the YMCA record books. So we did not qualify for the playoffs at the end of the year, but we're still a pretty impactful.
I will tell you, I even was getting text messages from people in Dallas, Texas, asking about the Blue Eagles. So,
fly Eagles, fly, baby.
Which I have another. Dane, how long can you stay on?
I got time.
Okay, so I do want to ask you two both, because we've all three done this, much to our chagrin. Why do we coach youth sports? Because in the topic of joy, I personally don't get a lot of joy out doing it, other than watching being there for my son. So Johnny, you go first, and then Dane. Why do we do it?
Because of love, not joy.
Yes.
I know I love to teach. And so I actually got a text from our buddy Jay Light the other day.
Yeah.
And he sends me these texts sometimes of like a Stan Van Gundy quote. And he says, if you're coaching youth sports, you have a decision to make. Do you want to teach these kids how to play the game of basketball, or do you want to try to win? And he'd say, wait, why do you have to do either or? Well, this guy wants to win. That guy wants to teach them how to play. But so many times you see bad examples of you're missing out on life lessons, and like just trying to provide opportunities to teach our kids of like, yeah, like sometimes you lose, but you got to keep working, and you don't feel like you want to go to practice, but you still got to go. And, just so much of life in my life, the lessons I've learned, many of them came through sports. And I'm thankful that our children want to play sports. They love it. And I feel like it's an opportunity to teach them and to be involved in that, to kind of kill two birds with one stone. If I'm going to spend the time to get them to practice, I might as well be there and be the voice in their ear. So that's one of the reasons I enjoy coaching.
I mean, I would piggyback off that, and yes, it is not joy that why we coach. Because if my kids were not involved in one way or the other in the sport, I don't think I would be there, at least as a head coach. I might help if a friend was coaching and was like, hey, I could really use an extra set of hands or whatever. But it's because our kids are in it is the main reason. But then I would say, secondly, I really enjoy watching the growth in sports in the kids. And so it's like when my kids are not natural athletes, it doesn't come to them naturally. So it's like when I see them just putting in time, and really when it starts off rough because they're not naturally gifted at that, it's like, and they keep coming back day after day, just trying to get better and putting in the work to do it. That part is really enjoyable to see, and I love seeing it. So if I can help them in a way to do that, I do enjoy doing that. But like you said, life lessons with sports in general, but mainly youth sports like that, it's so big. Like the persevering through adversity is big. I love seeing like even the Eagles team. It's like to get crushed game after game is so demoralizing for them, and it's like yet they come back and they play hard every time, and then finally get a win, and to see that happen and to see like them keep pushing and pushing that's a lot of fun to see.
Yeah, I think part of me struggles with the control issue of it. The other part wants to just help. So it's like I want to make sure my son's getting the coaching he needs, because I've just seen too many horror stories of bad youth coach, bad experience, and it kind of burns kids out. So I have this like protection over me, but also you're right, seeing the improvement. Because I even think of Graham in soccer. He was scared of contact a lot, and at basketball last week he dove on the floor for a ball in our one-on-ones, and I was like, wow. He's come a long way in 6 months even. And even the team are mostly kids from last year, and they have been a joy to coach this year, and last year they were not. And that was a problem I had. I was like, I don't want to go to practice today because they don't listen, they're not helpful. And this year they're great. So it's a big development arc, which is really fun. And also, I don't think another coach could tolerate my son.
What's funny about that? I always told you is like with the soccer season, he was the funnest person to coach, including my own child, because in practices, he truly is the only one that really was excited to be practicing. But that just shows you like how much he loves sports, but that he just loved to be out there. So guys, the kids like that are the funnest to coach, but they sometimes can be the hardest too because they are so passionate about it.
And what's going to be hard for me is my second son, Nolan. He doesn't really like sports. I'm going to make him practice tonight so he can kind of do like one or two a year to get used to like the concept of what a practice is, because he just doesn't want to do sports. But I want him to try, and like this is what it looks like, and we want to ease into it because I didn't make him play this year. But as a father, I want to make sure I'm capitalizing on his joys. So like he loves to draw. It's not my thing, but I need to make sure that I'm meeting him where he's at with the things he wants that gives him joy, and not just you don't play sports. Yeah, we can't really connect. So that's going to be a thing for me to navigate because I don't want him to get to 15 years old and be like, Dad loves Griffin more because he's obsessed with sports, and Dad loves sports. And so that's something I'm really trying to navigate as we're.
It's good that you're thinking that way. I agree because we've obviously, Catherine and I, we love sports, and we're glad that our kids enjoy it as well. But we also don't want to force our passions on them either.
Yeah. Dane, one of the last topics. There's two more quick things, and we can be kind of quick. What's your player comp for your adult basketball league skill set? Who's your NBA player comp?
I would say, and you're saying for me, correct?
Yeah, and it's like best case scenario. You don't have to like be exact.
I'm gonna give it like a Chris Paul, Drew Holiday.
Okay.
Somewhere in that vein. So a little bit of a playmaker.
Yeah.
Not a strong shooter, but gritty on defense.
Yeah.
That's kind of the vein I'm in.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you Johnny's. This is gonna surprise you.
Okay.
Johnny really strikes me as like Tim Duncan because he's methodical and so fundamental.
Boring.
The big fundamental.
No, I'm serious. His jump shot is like perfect form. His layups are perfect form. Like his step throughs, like everything is like what you would teach to a kid in practice. He is so fundamental. So even when we play pickup in the morning and he'll catch like a 12-footer and swish it, nobody's shooting 12-footers anymore. I'll just start yelling, Tim Duncan!
Yeah, that is true. Nobody ever shoots the mid-range. Johnny's bringing the mid-range back.
That's my favorite.
So Johnny is a more athletic in the pickup adult realm version of it, like a Tim Duncan.
Well, I appreciate that. That's very gracious. I'll tell you, Hunter is 100% Kevin Durant. He is Kevin Durant, all his moves, like this tall guy that can shoot the three, that can drive, that can do all these fadeaways, 1 foot, reverse layups.
Hunter, you got some range to the game?
He's got a lot of range.
I have a hard time.
Wow.
I have a hard time not having an ego, so I'll just say I'll give it to Johnny.
He is Kevin Durant, 100%.
I like that.
Very much so.
I thought you might be going with the way I talk on the court would be Kevin Durant because I do like to let the defense know if I'm cooking. I like to let them know they can't guard me.
I can see that.
And then I also do a little chit chat on defense. My guy will be open, and if they won't get the ball, I'll be like, they don't want to pass it to you. And I'll just kind of keep the conversation going. So
even if it's a one-sided conversation.
Yep. I have a lot of one-sided conversations out there. I like to make it more interesting. If I can really stoke the flames, I can play better. If the guy I'm guarding is complimenting me up and down the court, like this guy, I struggle. I'm like, wait, I can't play good if you're being nice. This is crazy.
That's the weakness.
Johnny will be guarding you, and you'll make a shot. You'll be like, nice shot, man. It's like, are you serious?
Good shot.
Last question before we do Johnny's Bible passage, because we gotta have some scripture in here. I came up with a would you rather the other day for my friends, and I wanted to hear your answer.
Okay.
So the first option, you have to choose one of them, is you have to run a slant and Ray Lewis hits you across the middle. So the hardest hitting football player of all time is going to just knock the tar out of you on a slant. And you can't like duck. You have to catch.
No. Yep.
Second option is you have to participate in consecutive high school spelling bees until you win one.
Oh, yeah. I'll take Ray Lewis.
You're just taking the pain.
Yeah, I'm taking the pain. I don't do well on stage of anything. That is more painful than the broken bones I would obtain from Ray Lewis. And truth be told, I'm an awful speller. So that is like the two worst things mixed into one. Give me Ray Lewis. I'll take the broken bones.
He might break your spine.
Yeah. But he won't break my spirit. That spelling bee, that's broken my spirit. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
How long do you think it would take you to win one? Several days? Like if each one's an hour?
What grades are they?
We're just going to call it high school.
High school? Oh, I can't win one of those.
What about middle school?
I'm getting closer. Elementary, I got a real shot.
What would you do?
I'm going with Dane on the elementary. I would not want to get hit by Ray Lewis. I'll take spelling bee and I'll go get a dictionary and study in between because I don't want to get hit by Ray Lewis.
I thought about this, and they'd have to give you like sleep breaks because it might be a couple days before you win one. Honestly, those kids can. You get a certain group of students, and you're not outspelling them unless you kind of get some words in your favor. So they'd have to give you a bed and a meal or something in between. I thought about this. Guess what my option was.
You would definitely do the spelling bee. You don't
Can I-
want to get hit by Ray
Here-
Lewis.
No,
Here's
I'm doing Ray Lewis.
I was gonna say here's what I would
couldn't
have
win.
guessed. Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna guess. My guess for Hunter would have been I'm doing Ray Lewis because I don't think he could take me down.
The father of Griffin, right there.
Yeah,
All I gotta do is a little juke move.
yeah. He hasn't seen my spin move. I'm gonna catch that thing, get out.
He has not seen a Hunter Price Euro step, so all I gotta do is step to the side and let him go. But
Oh, boy.
I would take the hit because I truly don't think I could win a spelling bee in a high school level. Middle school I got a shot, but I would be there for days. Like legitimately, would you stand on the stage for days or just take one hit? Honestly,
Give me
so
the hit. One's physical and one is mental. I the mental hit I would take on that stage. It would take years of recovery.
this is a lot of fun. We're gonna do a very awkward pivot, and Johnny's gonna give us a passage on joy for the week.
Let's tie a bow on it right here. So, if you are wondering where in the Bible can I think about joy, the book of Philippians. Philippians is the book of joy. And you might be thinking, okay, if it's about joy, or if that is a big theme, then Paul's life was going really well. But it's actually the exact opposite. And Paul wrote the book of Philippians when he was in jail. But he had so much joy because his perspective was that he could have joy regardless of his circumstances, because his joy was sourced in the Lord. And that's where we get the verse, rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. He says it twice in the book of Philippians, and the book talks about joy or choosing to rejoice, I think about 15 times. And it is a book of joy in finding joy in walking with the Lord, in remembering the promises of God, in seeing Christians walk with the Lord, in fellowship like what we're doing right now. You can have joy in conversations like this. So I would encourage our listeners to read the book of Philippians and to think about joy can transcend our circumstances, our context, because our joy can be found in the Lord. And then one more bonus, Psalm 16, the last verse, it says, in the presence of the Lord, there's fullness of joy. And so when God is there and when we are humbly in his presence and just kind of appreciating, gratitude is also linked with joy. When we can be thankful people, that can really help. God can grow that joy capacity in our hearts.
Absolutely. Ray Lewis hit, Paul suffering in prison. I mean, you could choose joy if you got your clock rocked by Ray Lewis. It might take a minute, but you could choose it if your perspective was right. But that was really good. And if you really do want to deep dive on joy, like Bible based and things like that, we had a joy two episodes on joy.
Yep.
Man, what, 6 months ago? I feel
It's
like
a while ago.
probably spring. So April-ish on the podcast channel if you're interested. Dane, I want to make this worth your time. And could you give us like an update of what you're doing with the Baseball Academy, where people could find it, if they want to take a swing of the bat?
Yeah, if you are me and two good friends of mine started so the old Skateland North, which is also was goals at one point, and a couple other things, but we purchased that building and it is now basically a 20,000 square foot baseball facility and softball facility. So you can join the membership there, and while it's snowing outside and any kind of inclement weather, go inside and take some hacks at some baseball, softballs, whatever you do. But we have team rentals in there, and then individual lessons, stuff like that. And so yeah, it's OTA, Overtime Training Academy, is what it's called.
I'm hearing it is the #1 training academy in Central Illinois. So
You've heard right.
That's what the news said. So we appreciate you joining. Next week we have a guest on that's going to make my IQ seem very, very small between our guest and Johnny. So I try to keep up as they talk about. I think it's love. I'm pretty positive.
It's love. Yep.
It's love next week. So Dane, thanks for joining. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for having me.